Good evening, friends. I hope you and your family is safe and well. Yesterday we have discussed about the income from other sources. Under income from other sources, we have studied about the various kinds of incomes which are taxable and some incomes are non-taxable that we have discussed in our three slides. Now, today we are going to discuss about the capital gain. Friends, there are total 5 heads of income under Income Tax Act. You already known about, and I already discussed income from salaries, income from house properties and gains from business and profession, capital gain, and other sources. From these 5 heads, we will discuss capital gain. Now, you aware about the salary will be taxable under the head income from salaries. House properties income will be taxable under the head income from house properties. Business and professions income will be taxable under the head business and professions, profits and gains from business and profession. Then other sources income also taxable. You aware about the list of the other sources income that we have studied. Now friends, we are going to learn capital gain. Now one thing you have to keep in mind, capital gain, it is chargeable, it is taxable under the head income from capital gain. Income from capital gain. Capital gain always calculated on capital asset. Capital gain is always calculated on capital asset. Now capital assets means what? Those assets which are transfer, and under transfer any amount of income generated, so such income will be considered as a capital gain. Now capital assets, what kinds of assets are capital assets, that we will discuss. We will discuss the what do you mean by capital gain, what are the types of the capital gain, what kinds of assets are not the capital assets, and how we will calculate the capital gain, what types and how we will calculate. These terms are totally different that we will discuss. I am sharing the screen now. I hope you understood this. Can you see the screen or not? Okay, I will share the screen right now and we will discuss only capital gain, how we will compute and how it will be taxable. Capital gain, let us discuss about capital gain. Now friends, the capital gain is chargeable to income tax if the following conditions are satisfied. Chargeable means taxable. There is a capital asset. Whenever we will calculate the capital gain is always calculate on capital asset. So whenever we want to calculate the capital gain, it required capital asset. This is the first condition, we must be satisfied. Then second condition, assessee should be transfer the capital asset. Now transferred word is very important. Transfer means sale of the asset. Transfer means the one person transfer, moving the asset to another person. It may be in the form of gift, it may be forcible transfer, sometimes it may be sale. And third condition is transfer of the capital asset should take place during the previous year. Now previous year, it start from 1st April 2020, 2019 and end will be 31st March 2020. In that particular period, it is a financial year. If it is transfer take place, then we have to calculate the capital gain. Now there should be a gain. Sometime we will suffer the losses also on account of transfer of the capital assets. Sometime it means there only gain is not possible. Sometime they will some assets suffer the losses also. Then friends, following assets are excluded from the definition of the capital asset. Now capital assets definition is any asset transfer any profit or gain arising from transfer of the capital assets, so it is called as a capital gain. Any profit or gain arising from transfer of the capital asset, it is called as a capital gain. And capital assets are the assets which are considered for while calculating the capital gain. So first thing you have to keep in mind, capital asset is required to compute the capital gain. Now we will talk about those assets which are not a capital assets. The list is very few items are there, very few numbers of not a capital assets are there. It is not included as capital assets, that we have to discuss. Then we can shift it to the capital assets and examples. Now let us discuss the examples of the assets which are not a capital assets, which are not to be considered as a capital asset. Now friends, any stock in trade, sometime what happened, suppose if you are the businessman and you bring the capital, if you bring the raw material for your production purpose, so such kinds of raw material, it is used for the stock for business purpose. So it is your asset, stock is your asset, but it is not a capital asset, raw material. Second is personal effects. Personal effect means your personal wearing, your personal clothes, your home furniture. So these are the all assets are there, but it is not considered as a capital asset. Personal wearing, it includes the movable property, including the wearing appeals or the furniture held for personal use of the assessee. Then friends, but there is an exception. Even if you have the jewelry, if you have the archaeological collections, drawing, painting, sculptures, or any form of the work art, if it is held for your personal purpose, but it is considered as a capital asset. For example, if you hold the jewelry, if you have the jewelry for your personal purpose, but it is considered as a capital asset. Now jewelry includes, now what kinds of jewelries are there? The jewelry includes the ornaments made up of gold, silver, platinum. These are the all metals are there. Yellow metal is one of the best metal, and many people are used for jewelry purpose. And some precious metal, whether or not containing any semi-precious stone also we have to consider. So these are all are used for personal purpose. So this assets is not a capital asset, but here even the personal effect is there, you have to consider as a capital asset. Then agricultural land which is used in agriculture purpose and it is located in remote area. Remote area means village area in India. Agricultural land is located in village area. It is not in the municipal boundaries of the any urban city, so it is considered as not a capital asset. If you have the agricultural land and which is situated in municipal corporation or any particular city area, agricultural land is there, so it is considered as a capital asset. Agricultural land which is located in the village area, not a capital asset. Agricultural land which is located in the urban area, it is considered as a capital asset. One more thing that I want to share with you, agricultural land income is totally exempt under section 10 subsection 1. Indian agricultural income is totally exempt under section 10 subsection 1. But agricultural land is located in the village area, it is totally non-taxable. It is totally non agricultural land in urban area, it is taxable. Clear? Then after that they are provided 6.5% gold bonds 1977 issue, 7% gold bonds 1980 issue, national defense gold bonds 1980 issue by the central government. It is also excluded. it is not considered as a capital assets. Then special bearer bonds 1991 not considered as a capital assets. Then gold deposit bonds issued under the gold deposit scheme 1999 also excluded from the definition of the capital assets. So I hope you understood the explanation regarding the capital assets. What kinds of assets are not a capital assets. Now friends, now we have to discuss about the types of capital assets. Types of the capital asset. Now there are various two types of capital assets in our we can say that in our income tax act 1961 there are two types of capital assets, and two types of capital assets we have to discuss. It is very important for our study point of view. Now two types means what are the two types? So see friends, kinds of capital assets, it includes short-term capital assets and long-term capital assets under section 2 subsection 42 for short term and under section 2 subsection 29 for long term. Now friends, short term capital asset means what? Capital assets other than the shares, capital assets other than the shares held by assessee for less than 36 months. It means we have to exclude the shares and other capital assets. If you take and such assets, if you hold for less than 36 months, it is considered as a short term capital asset. If you hold these capital assets other than the shares more than 36 months, then it is long term capital asset. If the capital asset being the shares, if it is held for less than 12 months, then it is a short term capital asset. If it is held for more than 12 months, it is long term capital asset. So capital assets other than shares held by assessee, purchased by assessee, hold by assessee for less than 36 months, it is considered as a short term capital asset. If it is held by the assessee more than 36 months, so it is considered as a long term capital assets. Long term capital assets. Then after that, shares held by the assessee for less than 12 months, so it is considered as a short term capital asset. If it is held by more than 12 months, it is considered as a long term capital assets. Yes friends, I hope you understood the short term and long term. Now how we will compute the long term capital gain, that we are going to learn. Now long term capital gain means asset held for more than 12 months, so it is considered as a long term capital. If the other than shares, if the capital asset is there and it is held by the assessee more than 36 months, then we generate the long term capital gain. And for that purpose, how we will calculate, there is a particular formula, there is a particular format that also we have to consider. Sales consideration less index cost of acquisition less index cost of improvement, and then transfer expenses deducted, whatever amount come, it is considered as a long term capital gain. Sales consideration means if you hold, suppose you have one house and you want to sell this house. If you sold the house for rupees 1 crore, that is considered as a sales consideration. Suppose if I purchased my house 20 years before, the cost of the house was 1 lakh, and today in 2020 if I want to sold my house for rupees 1 crore, the sales consideration is 1 crore, and I purchase my house, acquisition means purchase, that time the cost of the house was 1 lakh. Now we cannot put as a 1 lakh from we will deduct it from 1 crore and we will get the profit. It is not possible. Now we have to find out the value of 1 lakh today's date. The cost of purchase was 1 lakh 20 years before. Now what will be the value of 1 lakh today's scenario, today's present value? So that for that purpose we have to do the indexation of the cost of purchase, cost of acquisition. Then cost of improvement. Sometime if I purchase my house 20 years before, and then after that 5 years before I do repair, I do some improvement, that means renovations. I did my renovation of my house. So whatever I did, that is called as a improvement. If I have 2 rooms, I did 3 rooms by using the partitions. Now my house is row house. Now I build up one more floor for improvement purpose. So these are the improvements are there. Which year you did the improvement, such amount we have to consider. But that year's cost, we have to consider the present year cost. So whatever 5 years before I did my renovation, that time cost occurred 50,000. So right now I want to see about the cost of the improvement whatever I did in 5 years. Now today's cost. That's why we have to do the indexation. Then transfer expenses. Any expenses incurred at the time of sale of the asset, transfer of the assets, so it is considered as a transfer expenses. These are the amounts we have to deduct, and rest of the value is the long-term capital gain. Now there is a particular formula to calculate the considerations. Now full value of the consideration means what? The consideration means the including the whole and complete sale price or exchange value or compensation, including the enhance the compensation received in respect of the capital assets in transfer. Then whenever I want to sell my assets, whenever we have to sell the asset, whatever amount come, it is a whole or complete sale price. But following points are important whenever we have to consider. The consideration may be cash or kind. Sometimes consideration may be in the kind or fair market value, or it may be received or receivable, or consideration may be actually irrespective of its adequacy. So these things you have to consider about the full value of consideration. Now friends, cost of acquisition. Cost of acquisition means what? In this purchase price, cost capital, any capital expenses at the time of purchasing the capital assets under the transfer, that is including the purchase price, expenses incurred at the time of acquisition, for example registration, storage expenses, that we have to consider. Now expenditure incurred by the buyer at the time of buying the capital assets like brokerage, commission, registration, fees, cost of the stamp papers are to be added in the cost of acquisition before indexing. The cost of acquisition, not only the cost price, it includes the brokerage, commissions, registration, stamp duty also. Now how we will calculate indexation of the cost of acquisition? It's very simple. If the asset is acquired before 1st April 2001, so we have to consider cost of acquisition or fair market value before 1st April 2001, whichever is higher, and we have to divide cost of inflation index in the year 2001-2002, because cost of inflation index begin from 2001-2002. That index value we have to consider. Generally it is 100. Then after that we have to multiply the cost of inflation index on which asset is transferred. We transfer our asset during the previous year. That indexation value we have to consider. If the asset if it is purchase after 1st April 2001, no need to consider the fair market value. Only thing is there you have to consider cost of acquisition. Now cost of index improvement, cost of improvement index. How we will calculate cost of improvement? Divide by cost inflation index on which improvement took place, multiply by cost inflation index on which asset is transferred during the previous year. So this improvement is there. Always it is a very important part. Cost of improvement incurred before 1st April 2001 is not considered. It should be ignored. The reason behind it is that for carrying any improvement before 1st April 2001, asset should have been purchased before the 1st April 2001. So expenditure on transfer. Expenditure incurred wholly or exclusively for transfer purpose, so it is called as a capital expenditure. It is called as a transfer expenditure. So what kinds of expenditure are there? Commission, brokerage paid by seller, any fees or like registration fees, cost of the stamp paper, etc., traveling expenses and litigations expenses incurred for the transferring the capital assets are expenditure on transfer. Now expenditure on transfer also we have to deduct while calculating the long term capital gain. Okay, fine friends, I hope you understood how we will calculate this long term capital gain.